How about a huge round of applause for Sharon Spell.
Put my hair up, but it didn't even
That's great.
up or down.
Oh,
it's up. There it is. Great. Hi. A friend of mine's dad gave us some really great advice when we were teenagers. People want to like you more than they want to not like you, so stop making it so hard. I try. And I try to give people chances, and sometimes I give people too many chances, especially when I'm vulnerable. I think that's kind of common. There was a period of time after my divorce when I was dating, and I gave a lot of guys chances, and maybe too many chances. And then one day I was on an online site, and I saw a guy who was familiar, and I knew him from real life. And I thought, this is so great. And we started messaging each other. And we knew each other in Pittsburgh, but we both lived in New York at this point. And I knew of this guy. We didn't really hang out, but our friends hung out. He was part of my larger friends circle. And I thought, well, I like friends, and I like this paper trail of mutual friends in common. So I'm going to give him a chance. And I had a show in the East Village, and I invited him to it, and he came to the show. He brought friends, and afterward his friends left and my friends left, and we hung out and ended up making out, which was kind of nice. And a few days later, more than making out, which was nicer. And for 3 months, we had a really lovely time, I thought. And then he waited until the day after his birthday to tell me he needed to take a break from our nice times. And it made sense because he wanted me to take him to dinner and get his birthday gifts in hindsight. But it totally surprised me. And he said, I just want to take a break and reevaluate, but I still want to come to your shows. And I stopped him right there and said, you want me to stand on stage and try to be funny while you sit in the audience and make me wonder how you feel about me? And he said, well, I guess I didn't think that through all the way. And I said, I guess you didn't. And I took my Andy Warhol book and I got out of there. Because you want to take a break? Fine, we're on a break. And I gave him radio silence, plenty of time to think about what he wanted. And he wrote me a letter 2 weeks later. I got it in the mail, and it was 2 pages, handwritten, of, I panicked, I do want to be with you. And he signed it, love. Well, I mean, come on, right? Okay, yeah, we got back together. It's a handwritten letter from the mail. So we got back together, and he started coming to my shows again, and I knew how he felt about me, or I thought I did, because he would lay on the couch in the back of the room and fall asleep during the show. But he was there physically, but he just wasn't giving me what we needed for a relationship. And so I broke up with him the next time through email, and I'm not proud of that. I'm not proud, but I got the words out I needed to get out. And, we had friends in common, the paper trail and all that. And, it's just we gave it a chance. And he said, well, yeah, you're right. You shouldn't have sent this through an email, but you're right. And maybe we could be friends, he said. I said, okay, maybe we can be friends. And so that summer, we started hanging out as friends, and we were nice friends. And then we started being nicer friends and being, things progressed back to where they were before, or regressed back to where they were before. And I thought we were dating again because we had resumed that physical connection. And then that August, things took a turn in my personal life, in my family life, where my parents' illnesses took a turn. And I called him to say I'm going home to Mississippi. My dad's coming home for hospice, and my mother is in a coma, and all this stuff is happening so rapidly. And I call him, and I talk to him, and I hear him being present for me in the moment and really engaging. And I thanked him, thank you for listening. And he said, well, we are friends. friends? And he went on about something like, I told you I can't be in a relationship right now. And I was like, no, I don't remember that. But I'll remember it now. I hear you now. We're not in a relationship. And he said, why does it sound like you're not going to talk to me again for a while? I was like, that's the first smart thing I've heard you say in a while. So I hung up, and I did not talk to him for a while. And unfortunately, dealt with the deaths of both my parents that month. And the chips were not just down, they were under the floor in the basement. So, of course, he started writing me again. And he only wrote love to me in messages when we were apart. And so that December, he wrote me a very epic email. I mean, this email, it was good because he was like, we started out as friends, and can we start back as friends and see where things go? And I mean, I was beyond vulnerable. I was just wide open to need something and someone to glom onto. And I said, yes. And all my friends and my siblings were like, no, please don't go back to this guy who keeps toying with you, who keeps playing with your emotions. But I didn't hear all that because all I heard was love. I read love. I just saw run toward the love. So for a month, we hang out and we're getting physical again. And then within a month, he sits me down at brunch and says, I don't want you to get hung up on me. I want you to be okay when I start seeing other people. That's when I woke up. I'm trying to like you. I'm trying to like you, and you're making it impossible. So at that brunch, I just said, I said the things I needed to say to him, including, you don't want me, and it hurts too much. And he tried to hug me. I didn't hug him back, and he just turned around and left. And so did I. I ran. Run, girl, run. Don't let your shirt touch your back. And I didn't turn back. Thank you.